Baltimore, 1920. A basement laboratory at Johns Hopkins University. On a padded mattress sits a 9-month-old boy the records call only Albert B. He is calm, curious, almost impossible to frighten. A white rat is placed beside him, and he reaches for it with an open, trusting hand. Then, from behind his head, a steel bar is struck with a hammer. The crash tears through the room, and the child freezes. Again the rat appears. Again the hammer falls. 7 times across 2 sessions the soft animal and the sickening clang arrive together, until the infant's mind fuses them into one thing. Now the rat alone is enough. When it is set before him, he no longer reaches. He whimpers, turns away, and crawls off the mattress as fast as his small limbs allow, sobbing for an exit that isn't there. 2 figures in white coats lean over their notebooks, recording every tear. John Watson and Rosalie Rayner have just done something many believed impossible. They have installed fear in a human being from scratch, like wiring a circuit. What they have not planned is how to remove it. And what history will not record, for almost 100 years, is the name of the child they broke. To understand the experiment, you must first understand the man. John B. Watson was the most famous psychologist in America, the founder of behaviorism, a movement that dismissed the invisible mind entirely. Thoughts, feelings, dreams, none of it mattered. Only behavior could be measured, and only what could be measured was real. In 1913 he had thrown down an infamous boast: give him a dozen healthy infants, and he could shape anyone into anything he chose. It was a breathtaking claim, and Watson needed proof. If emotions were merely conditioned reflexes, then fear itself should be teachable. He turned to the nursery of a Baltimore hospital, where staff raised children in residence, and selected a placid, healthy baby who almost never cried. The very stillness that made the infant perfect for science is what makes the story unbearable. He was chosen precisely because he was fearless. By the standards of 1920, there were no rules to break. No ethics board existed to say no, no consent form for a child who could not speak. Watson worked in a world where a scientist's curiosity was its own permission. It is easy to condemn him from a century away. It is harder to admit the experiment worked exactly as he hoped, and that its success is precisely what made it a crime. Before the terror, there was a catalogue. The team presented the boy with a white rat, a rabbit, a dog, a monkey, masks, and burning newspaper, filming his every reaction. He showed no fear of any of them. To build a trigger, they needed a sound he hated, and they found it by striking a long steel bar behind his head. That noise, and that noise alone, made him cry. It was the one raw fear they could weaponize. The design was simple and merciless. Present the rat, the instant the boy touches it, strike the bar. Do it again, and again, letting delight curdle slowly into dread. This is Pavlov's dogs turned upon a human infant, a bell, a reflex, a child. By the end, the mere sight of the harmless white rat threw him into full panic without a single sound. The conditioning had taken permanent hold. Some of it survives on film, silent, flickering, black and white, barely a few minutes long. A plump, solemn baby sits on a mattress while gloved hands push animals toward him. You watch him reach, then hesitate, then crumble. There is no sound, which somehow makes it worse, because you supply the crying yourself. It is the only moving image we have of a mind being deliberately rewired, and it is almost too intimate to watch. Then something happened that the scientists found fascinating and we should find chilling. The fear refused to stay put. Shown a rabbit, the boy recoiled. A dog made him cry. A sealskin coat, a wad of cotton wool, even a Santa Claus mask with a soft white beard, all of it now terrified him. His mind had generalized the lesson: anything soft and white meant danger. They had not taught him to fear a rat. They had taught him to fear the world. A responsible experiment would end here, with a rescue. Watson and Rayner knew this. They even wrote about the methods that might undo the conditioning, unafraid to describe how one could reverse the damage they had caused. The plan was to decondition the boy, to give him back the fearless mind he had arrived with. But the plan assumed they would still have him. They would not. The door was already closing. The boy's mother worked at the hospital, and one day, the records are vague on exactly when, she took her son and simply left. Whether she understood what had been done to him, we do not know. What we know is that Albert walked out of that laboratory still carrying every fear they had planted, uncured, uncounted, and unfollowed. No one deconditioned him. No one checked on him. He vanished into ordinary life like a stone dropped into deep water. Watson's own downfall came soon after. His relationship with Rosalie Rayner, his young assistant, erupted into a scandalous affair that cost him his marriage and his university career. Forced out of academia in 1920, he took his gift for shaping behavior and sold it to Madison Avenue, becoming a pioneer of modern advertising. The man who taught a baby to fear spent his second life teaching a nation to desire. His experiment was never replicated, and never repaired. And so little Albert became a ghost in the machine of psychology. For decades every textbook told his story, played the grainy film of a crying child, and confessed the same unbearable blank. No one knew who he was, or what became of him. Did the fears fade on their own? Did he grow up flinching at dogs and fur without ever knowing why? The most famous baby in the history of the mind had no name and no ending. The stakes were larger than one man's curiosity. Little Albert had become the founding myth of behaviorism, the proof cited in 1,000 classrooms that fear is learned, not born. If the story was false, if the baby was sick or the fears exaggerated, then a pillar of modern psychology rested on a shattered child no one could even name. To find him was to test whether the discipline could look its own origins in the eye. So, beginning around 2009, researchers refused to let the question rest. A team led by psychologist Hall Beck spent 7 years cross-referencing the 1920 census, hospital staff records, and Watson's own home movies, even comparing the infant's features frame by frame. They followed a single wet nurse who had worked at the hospital, tracing her to one particular child. After nearly a century of silence, they believed they had finally found him. The child they named was Douglas Merritt, son of a hospital wet nurse. But the discovery brought a darker turn. Douglas had not grown old at all. He died in 1925, at just 6 years old, of acquired hydrocephalus, fluid pressing on the brain. Worse still, some researchers argued the baby in the film was never the healthy, normal infant Watson claimed, but a neurologically impaired child, meaning the most famous experiment in psychology may have been built on a lie. But that was not the end. A second team, led by Russ Powell, challenged the grave itself. Their evidence pointed to a different boy entirely, William Albert Barger, known his whole life by his middle name, Albert. He was healthy, he was normal, and crucially, he lived. He grew up, grew old, and died in 2007 at the age of 87, never once knowing he might be the most studied infant in human history. And here is the detail that lingers. Those who knew William Barger remembered one strange quirk: all his life, he could not bear animals, especially dogs. His family kept a quiet ritual, shutting their pets away in another room whenever he came to visit. No one ever told him why he felt that way. No one ever told him that a laboratory had once taught a fearless baby to be afraid of the entire world. Maybe the conditioning faded within a year. Or maybe it shadowed him for 87 of them, a whisper of terror with no name and no cause, the last unhealed wound of an experiment that was never allowed to end.